What if I told you there was a stock plugin in FL Studio that could turn this into this? What's up with y'all? Y'all good? Good. I'm Trent Kipps. Always appreciate y'all for tuning in, tapping in, especially for locking in. Yes, sir. Ladies and gentle bros, allow me to introduce you to the humble monster, FL Studio's Effector FX module. Inside of this one stock plugin, you have 12 different effects that include distortion, big crushing, flanging, phasing, filters, delays, grains, ring modulation frequency, vox, gating. This ain't about to be no in-depth walkthrough tutorial, because when one plugin has this many features, you gotta put your big boy pants on, leave a juice box on the porch, and cross the street your goddamn self. Here's a quick rundown. The X and Y parameters depend on the effect you use. So for distortion, X is distortion amount, Y is tone. And for flanger, the X is depth, the Y is feedback. You could go on ImageLine's website, click here, go to help for a full rundown of all the X and Y parameters for each effect in this plugin. The bypass and the dry and wet knobs, self-explanatory. Now the two wheels on the top right, the X and Y mods, think of those as like multipliers or boosts to whatever's happening on the X and Y parameters on the left half. And if the wheel's straight down the middle, 12 o'clock, nothing's happening. Push it to the right, you get a positive multiplier. You push it to the left, you get a negative multiplier. You got some tempo switches here and a tempo multiplier with this wheel right here as well. Now this is how I use the plugin. I figure out what effect I'm going for. And then like a hipster in a thrift store, I just start touching shit. So I'll start with the pad in the middle and I'll click and drag until I find a basic sound that I'm going for. And as you can see, as I'm moving around on the pad, the X and Y wheels on the left are moving too. Then I use the modifiers on the right to exaggerate said effect. More often than not, I use this dry wet knob to figure out how much of that effect I want on the original sound or how much of the original sound I want to push through. And then I'll click the bypass a few times to assess the damage that I've done. And the good thing about this is you could stack these effects. You can use one instance for a filter and then another instance for reverb. On this simple loop that I made, the guitar has two instances of effector, one for reverb and one for vox, which makes the instruments kind of vocal-like. It produces these vowel-like sounds. Wow, wow. That's coming from the vox. The main synth melody also has two of these stacked on, one for vox, one for filter. Most of the third-party plugins y'all are looking at are in here somewhere. And if you take some time to experiment with this, you could come up with some unique sounds and save a little bit of coin. I didn't even get into automation. So when you factor in the possibilities with that, this thing can do work. And that's all I got for y'all, man. So I always appreciate y'all for tuning in, tapping in, especially for locking in. Yes, sir. You got any questions about the plugin, the sounds, the chords, anything about this loop or this video, leave it in the comments. I'll get right with you. I'm gonna see y'all in the next one. Love.